didn't survive an abortion at 8 months old and was found crying in a bin by angel nurse who saved her life. Melissa Ohden spent 20 years looking for the answers to her past and says she owes her life to the angel nurse that found her. The woman who survived an abortion at 8 months old and was found in a bin by a nurse as she cried has told her incredible story. Melissa Ohden's mum had walked out of the hospital in Iowa believing the toxic saline solution she'd had over 5 days had terminated her baby. She had not wanted to have the abortion and had no idea her daughter was alive until 36 years later. When 40-year-old Melissa, of Kansas City, U.S., learned of her horrific past, she spent almost 20 years looking for the answers. She found out she had an angel nurse to thank for saving her life back in August 1977, who had heard her gasps for breath and rushed her to intensive care. Horrifyingly, another nurse at the hospital, Melissa's grandmother, had allegedly told others to leave the baby in the room to die, the Daily Mail reports. It was her grandmother who allegedly forced Melissa's mom, just 19 at the time, into the abortion. Melissa, who has chosen not to name her mom or grandma, says however that she has learned to forgive. She was heavily sedated and didn't know that I had been born alive. It would be 30-odd years before she learned the truth, Melissa, who has written a memoir about her life, said about her mom. It's been a long and painful journey from shame and anger to faith and forgiveness. But I refuse to be poisoned by bitterness. That's no way to live. Melissa, who now lives in Missouri, U.S., was adopted by a loving family and met her birth mom last year, after 17 years of trying to track her down. Medics who carried out the abortion at St. Luke's Hospital in Sioux City thought initially Melissa's mom was 20 weeks into the pregnancy. However, the fact she survived with the saline infusion made them think she must have actually been 31 weeks along to induce. The method is not thought to be used in the US and UK anymore, due to its failure rate. Baby Melissa suffered respiratory distress and seizures, and doctors believed if she did survive she could have problems with her sight, hearing, and development. At 3 months old she was adopted by Linda and Ron Cross, who had taken in another girl, Tammy. The girls were told at an early stage that they were adopted. By the age of 5, Melissa was a healthy child and was not behind others her age with her development. Although they believe that they couldn't conceive naturally, Melissa's adoptive parents then had a natural son, Dustin, when she was 6. Melissa found out at the age of 14 that she'd survived an attempted abortion, when Tammy blurted it out. She said she felt a mix of emotions, anger, shame and guilt. In her teenage years, she said she turned to alcohol to numb the emotional pain, and developed bulimia. She went on to get into the University of South Dakota though, where she began studying political science. From the age of 19 her search for her birth family began, and she moved to Sioux City where the failed abortion had taken place. With a desire to know more, she searched through phone books, newspapers and yearbooks to try and find clues. She also asked for medical records, which told her she was living in the same city as her biological father, but he never responded to her letter. 6 months later Melissa found out he had died, when she found his obituary online, and gave up her search temporarily. She married IT worker Ryan, now 42, and has had 2 daughters with him, Olivia, 9, and 3-year-old Ava.